What's up, guys? Kyoko1994 here, going to talk to you about anything, you guessed it, Dragon Ball, from Ball to Z and everything in between. And we are back up and running on the channel since the small break / hiatus from the platform. And during the break, Dragon Ball Super has finally, sadly, officially ended, leaving some Dragon Ball YouTubers kind of up in the air, not really knowing exactly what they're going to do. Now that they don't have something on a weekly basis, a weekly episode to review and talk about and speculate. So, have no fear, because this channel will continue on with the old video series that I've already started, and I will definitely be creating new ones so that there will always be some kind of new content or continuing content to be watched and hopefully enjoyed by you guys for the, majority of the future. And I really hope I can continue making stuff that you guys like, and I'm really excited today to actually be joined by a special guest. It's kind of weird to have a special guest on a video kind of like this, but man, any opportunity that I get to bring my very, very good friend, the Dragon Ball dad himself, Mark, onto the channel, I'm always happy. So say hi to everybody. Mark, how are you doing today, man?
Hey everybody, it's great to be here. It's always great to talk about the future of YouTube and Dragon Ball in general, so I'm very happy to be here. Probably regret it tomorrow because it's very late, but I'm willing to stay up for you guys.
Hey, I'm just saying, just remember, everybody, in the future to always check notifications on every platform when trying to schedule a recording event, so that you don't end up both sitting for like 45 minutes at your computer not recording. But we will be, talking about some stuff, but I'm going to leave the link in the description below to get over to Mark's channel so that you can hit his sub button and actually stay up to date with all of the new stuff that's going to come out on his channel that we're going to minorly talk about in this video. So like I said, we're here today to talk to you guys about our plans and ideas for the future of our channels now that Dragon Ball Super is over for now. But I do want to say, Mark, I have one thing that I do suggest both you, me, a lot of other YouTubers, just everybody in general. Now that Super is over, I think that the most important thing to do is to actually go back and reread and rewatch the entire series to try to gain a little bit more of a perspective on the franchise. Now, obviously, there is a huge time gap between the end of Z being made and the beginning of Super / Battle of God movie and Resurrection F. There's a good amount of time between that. So, I mean, these were not planned events that were supposed to happen, in the mid-90s. So, my plan at least is to all go back and rewatch it and try to, recondition our brains to be in the mindsets of those franchises and those times, and use that as a catalyst to put out more material on YouTube, because now that there is a void of Dragon Ball Super material, we can go back to awesome Dragon Ball, discussions and Dragon Ball Z theories and stuff like that. And again, I really encourage everybody to do that, but I want to kind of know your thoughts on if you personally want to rewatch the series, Mark.
I actually started rereading the Dragon Ball manga like 2 days ago. So it's funny that you bring that up. The amount of people that I come across who kind of came into Dragon Ball because of Super or because of Z and never ever went back and watched the original Dragon Ball anime is incredible to me. Because for me, in terms of anime, it's probably the best anime representation we have of Dragon Ball, the first one. And probably the best part of the manga too is the early Dragon Ball manga, in my opinion. Just because I think once we get to the Z portion of events, there's kind of more plot holes develop. But that's just my personal opinion. It's still great, but it's not as good as the Dragon Ball portion to me. And I just think if you loved what you've seen in Super and in Z, you've got to go back and check out those early parts, because if you haven't, you've really missed out on some of the most magical times in the story. I mean, it's pretty much pure shonen early on, and such a great, beautiful package. I really, really do implore anybody who hasn't seen the Dragon Ball anime to watch it. Even if you don't want to read the manga, I know a lot of people just like anime rather than manga. I'm not one of these guys who says anime or the manga, it's just different ways of getting the story. I love both. I don't really have a preference. I know a lot of people would get uppity about that. It's kind of like the sub versus dub debate. Again, for me, I do prefer the subs, but that's just me. I don't mind if someone likes the dub better. I've seen a lot of this. Oh, they said Hakai in the English dub instead of saying destroy, and I kind of think that's just nonsense. Just enjoy it how you enjoy it. But yeah, my point is go back and check out where it all got started, because for me it's the most magical part, and it's the part that got me hooked and made me fall in love with Goku. It's definitely the main journey that Goku goes through happens in Dragon Ball in terms of character development, where you see him when he starts off to where he ends up is just his biggest journey. And people who say Goku doesn't have any character development, it's because they haven't seen Dragon Ball or read the early part of the manga. That's where the majority of his character development takes place, at least in my opinion. And in terms of action, the fights you get there are so well choreographed. You don't have the crazy power levels you have in Z. You don't have things like Super Saiyan, things like that kind of escalate things to as far away from martial arts as you can get. In early Dragon Ball, it's more pure martial arts fighting. It's still obviously not realistic, but it's closer to being realistic with insane powers still, but it's just a thing of beauty. My favourite fight in all Dragon Ball anime happens in Dragon Ball, and it is the Goku Piccolo fight. It's kind of the predecessor to everything you get to see after that in terms of setting the pace and seeing these new kind of insane attacks happen. It's just beautiful. It's just a beautiful anime.
Yeah, I mean, I definitely agree with Mark on that. Like, going back and rewatching and rereading start to finish from, Dragon Ball is just such a good idea. I'm glad that he's actually already on his path. But I find that a lot of misconceptions of the series and a lot of problems that come up are from people who actually haven't read or were introduced to Super and haven't gone back and checked out the other series, like what Mark was saying. And it would solve a lot of problems if people just went back and watched the original series. We wouldn't have some of the arguments that we have nowadays. And having that all kind of tied up is nice so that we can get back to actually talking about the series instead of debating whether it's worth watching the original series or not. But I will say one small thing is that I do have a video of why you should watch the original Dragon Ball series, and I will link that down in the comment section below if you guys want to go check out that video as well. But going on with rewatching and rereading the entire series, I will most definitely be bringing back my manga reviews from the Super manga reviews, and I will be adding in Dragon Ball manga review, Z manga review, and just kind of my thoughts on the series that has, come before, and try to give some of my own individual ratings on maybe some of my favorite episodes, if not the entire series. So I'm really excited to be able to get back into this stuff and kind of dive in depth more into the original series and kind of either dispel some misknowledge or actually find something new, because even after 30 years there should still be stuff that people can figure out in a different way or explain in a different way to bring some kind of enlightenment on the series. And I feel that a full rewatch and review of the original series are going to help maybe clear up some of that misinformation, and it's something that I'm really excited to do for the future of this. I don't know if there are any other future ideas for new series that you have planned, Mark, on your channel.
Dragon Ball wise, I'm always kind of a what-ifer. There's a lot of those that are always going to come up. I may do a Kai versus Z debate, because I know a lot of people who are going to go back may look and think, do I watch Dragon Ball Kai? Do I watch Dragon Ball Z? If you want closer to the manga, you go Kai. Z has a lot of filler stuff, but I personally like the filler stuff. A lot of people feel the Freezer arc has too much padding and it kind of damages it in a way, but I know you don't. I know you're a big seller of the filler, so I don't know if you want to sell some of the filler to the guys and tell them why Z is a good alternative to Kai.
Okay, I don't know if I'd use alternative. I will say that I do suggest watching both of them. There are good parts to both. With the English one, you get a more accurate redubbing, especially going back to what you were talking about earlier about sub versus dub, Kai versus Z. I agree with you on that. I don't think that we should be using people who don't like sub and like the dub over it, using that argument to split apart our community, when what we really need to be doing is bringing up our community, because even though Dragon Ball is huge, we're not the biggest, subcategory of YouTubers. We all need to try to come together as a whole to bring up the Dragon Ball YouTube platform, maybe to be a little bit more recognized by others on the platform. But I suggest watching Z and watching the filler, because there are a lot of good moments that come out of the filler, and there are also very interesting characters that come out of the filler. And if you just watch Kai, you're not really going to be getting that and the essence of that as well, because they still use the filler in Super, like that they go back and kind of mention here and there small little bits that happened in filler. So you get back to that canon non-canon debate, where technically in the anime the filler is canon because they've mentioned it later, but to the manga, I mean, we all know that Toritaru has a little bit different vision from the anime of the notes from Toriyama himself. So you get a different portrayal of the same events, but there's still things that you could be lost in the full story. So it's always good to go back, watch both, see both, read both, and just enjoy anything that is Dragon Ball. And that's kind of my thoughts on what rewatching would be. In my order, I would go, obviously, Dragon Ball, the Dragon Ball movies, Z, the Z movies and TV specials. Moving that in, I would actually watch GT over Kai first, just for the fact of, I know nobody wants to sit there and watch all of Z and then watch it all directly again. So I would really suggest watching GT and letting that kind of soak in for a little bit, then going back, watching Kai again, and then going into Super and the movies, and using that, or just reading straight through the manga from the first chapter of Dragon Ball to the end of Z, and then going into the Super manga. That's what I'm really suggesting for people to go back and do, because I think if people rewatch the whole series, maybe we can even get more Dragon Ball YouTubers onto this platform, maybe give them a little bit more courage and a little bit more knowledge of the series, so they have the feeling that they can actually stand up and talk about what they want to talk about without being ridiculed for not knowing everything. So definitely going through and rereading all that maybe can bring this platform and our community up higher. Don't know your thoughts on that.
Oh, I hope so. Anything that can improve on the community and bring in new faces is always a good thing to me. I think the Dragon Ball community has a bit of a bad reputation in the terms of the kind of, it goes to war with each other a lot, as we've said about sub versus dub, manga versus anime.
Canon versus non-canon.
Yeah, it's not really necessary most of the time. It's kind of nitpicking. To me, it's all an interpretation of Toriyama's story. Whichever one you prefer, you prefer. In terms of not having knowledge and not being brave about doing it, I'm not the most knowledgeable guy in the community, and my channel's doing pretty fine. Everybody has bits that they know more about, bits that they could learn about, bits that they are very knowledgeable on. And I really think that everybody has something to add, and if you really want to try YouTube, go out and do it, because it's a great way to meet new people and improve your confidence and learn new skills too. So never be afraid to YouTube. And in terms of the future and what Dragon Ball can bring to you, I think Dragon Ball is an absolute fantastic gateway anime. For me, Dragon Ball Z introduced me to anime in a big way, and without it, I probably wouldn't be into anime like I am now. So I think Dragon Ball's had a big impact on the West, maybe more so than any other anime, really.
Well, I will say that Funimation doing Dragon Ball really did affect anime in the 90s, because, I mean, they are the If I remember right, I could be wrong. Correct me in the comment section below if I am. But Funimation, at least at first, was the only person dubbing all of these shows and bringing them over here. So without Funimation, without people like Chris Sabat and the heads of, Funimation, Justin Cook and everybody, we wouldn't have had this anime boom here in America. And some of our favorite series from Japan may have never been brought over here and dubbed without their help. I mean, it was a small company just trying to make ends meet, and they just happened to kind of stumble upon a treasure trove of old things that they could make their own. And I'm happy they did it, because with that, it spawned this whole community. And like what you were saying, some of my best friends I've made through YouTube in this community, and it's never too late to start, and it's never too late to try and do something, because from YouTube, I now have a passion to get a journalism degree and actually be a journalist because of what I've learned from YouTube. So just remember that you're always able to build new skills, and we're always suggesting going in new skills. So I always suggest you guys to start.
Oh yeah, if you go out and check any YouTuber's first ever video and compare it to their latest one, you'll see everyone's gone on this learning journey, because we all suck at first, every single one of us.
Exactly. You get better with time, so it's nice. But other than just countdowns on this channel, I'm also going to start showing off my collectibles and doing maybe like a room tour and stuff, since you guys may have seen it in the last video, the little update video for the channel that I made. But I'm going to be slowly adding things to the room, changing camera angles, changing things. So it'll be exciting to kind of show off some of my stuff, some of the cooler collectibles that you don't normally get to see that often. But soon we will actually have a new mobile Dragon Ball game in the form of Dragon Ball Legends coming out. And that is going to be something that I really hope can actually thrive on this channel, because I'm trying to bring more gaming to the channel, and now that I'm not on such a crazy work schedule, I have time to actually play games again. And I thought, if I heard right from Mark's also going to try to get into Dragon Ball Legends in the future, so that's something we may be able to showcase together.
Yeah, I'm definitely going to be playing that. I love my anime games. I've got a full section on my YouTube channel just covering games, so I've not only Dragon Ball games, I've played Yu Yu Hakusho games and just any anime games I can find. Pokemon games. I love any game in that genre, so I'll definitely be hitting up Legends and probably losing, because when I play Kyo on Duel Links, he destroys me, so
Man, I mean, I try not to be a savage, but you also have less time in the game, so it's not really fair. A lot of those card games, it's not fair when you're brand new coming in and trying to fight somebody. But that's really most of what I wanted to talk about today. We kind of just wanted to sit here and ramble about what our plans were now that Super's over. Obviously, we have the movie coming in December, so there's going to be the hype train for that. I may start a weekly news show devoted to Dragon Ball things if there is enough content to actually do a weekly show. If we're just going to sit every week and just talk about the new movie coming out in December, I honestly don't want to do that. But I did want to thank you guys for wasting your time here today, kind of just listening to the update that we're going to have. Now that I'm back and in my office and all settled into the house, there will be more and more content on the channel. So I do really appreciate you guys sticking around just to listen to this small kind of talk about what's going to happen for the future of these channels. I want to thank Mark again for coming in today, wasting some time with me to talk about stuff for his channel as well. Again, I'll leave the link in the description below if you guys want to go check out his content. Now that you know what he's going to do in the future, I definitely suggest going over there and hitting the sub button. If you guys enjoyed the video today, I definitely want you guys to hit a like. And let me know your thoughts down in the comment section below, what you want to see from this channel, what you want to see from Mark's channel, and just kind of what your thoughts are, period, on Dragon Ball Super being over and what you're going to do now. I want you guys to subscribe to my channel if you haven't already. If this is the first video you guys are seeing, there's definitely some awesome stuff that you can check out there. And again, I just want you guys to have a great day. Any last words, Mark?
Yeah, you guys have a great day. Please do check out my channel. I cover Hunter x Hunter, My Hero Academia, Full Metal Alchemist, Yu Yu Hakusho, and a few anime movies lately. So it's not just a pure Dragon Ball channel. It's basically like an anime zone now, and I'm always open for suggestions. So just come over if you want a fun time, guys. It's kind of a chill zone, if anything.
It most definitely is a chill zone. You can also hop in on Mark's Discord channel that we are both in, and you can talk to us directly in there. I will leave the link to that server in the comments section below. But I want you guys to have an amazing day, and as always, I'll catch you guys next time.